Hi everyone and welcome to this smart learning video on diet. They say you are what you eat, so let's quickly explore how this relates to your learning. In fact, we're going to cast the net wider to include substances like caffeine and even vaping. So buckle up, here we go. Think of your brain, and your whole body for that matter, as a machine. If you put rubbish in, you're going to get rubbish out. That obviously applies to physical performance if you're a sports person, but it also applies to every one of us in terms of our mental performance. Diet can affect mood, attention, and memory, so what we put into our bodies has a direct impact on what we get out of our education. This links to a number of other videos that you may have watched, including well-being, but let's look back at attention. If what we eat affects our attention, then why should we care? Well, the reason paying attention matters to learning is that it's an important part of how we form memories. No memory, no knowledge, so it's absolutely crucial. If diet matters so much, then let's have a look at what a good diet looks like next. Here is the Eat Well plate, a really well-known infographic that summarises how much of each thing we should be eating across the course of a day. If your personal pie chart would look mainly purple, you're likely to have a problem with concentration and learning, for example. The British Dietetic Association summarise loads of key research in this area, and they have specific advice for young people. It's a straightforward message. Number 1, stick to the guidance of the Eat Well plate. Number 2, eat regular meals to help regulate your blood sugar. In turn, this influences hormones that control mood and concentration. For this reason, poor mood and behaviour are often observed in young people who've been without food for too long. For example, if they haven't eaten breakfast. 3. Nutritional supplements help with vitamins and minerals, particularly if your doctor says you're lacking something. Remember to always stick within the recommended daily allowance or RDA on this. And finally, and most surprisingly, pay close attention to whether you're getting enough dietary fibre. This is normally found in things like wholemeal carbohydrates like brown bread, pasta and rice, nuts, beans and pulses. This isn't normally something that people associate with concentration and learning, so why are we talking about it? Some scientists now think that the positive mood and improved attention that we feel after a meal may last longer if there's more fibre in what we eat. This may be why young people have been shown to perform better in tests of attention and memory 2 hours after a high fibre breakfast cereal, like Weetabix, compared to a high sugar, low fibre one. Dietary fibre may also promote healthy gut bacteria. This may in turn also contribute to good mood and general well-being in ways that scientists are only just beginning to understand. Okay, caffeine next. Many of your teachers run on strong coffee, and many of you may regularly buy energy drinks like the ones pictured here. Some of these drinks contain way more caffeine than a cup of coffee, which is a massive dose if you're still growing. What do we know about caffeine in relation to learning then? Well, caffeine belongs to a group of chemicals called stimulants. These speed up our reactions, but also have the characteristic of being addictive, as well as us being able to build up what's called a tolerance to them, meaning we have to have more and more for the same effect as our bodies get used to them. Then there are withdrawal effects if you're a regular caffeine user. This means that things like brain fog might be a problem if you don't get your regular fix. Research on the impact of caffeine on learning is mixed, with some research suggesting it helps focus in the short term and others saying that over the long term it makes learning more difficult for some tasks. Simple advice would be everything in moderation, and if you notice you're struggling with your sleep, try to cut this out straight away. On this subject, bear in mind that even tea and chocolate have caffeine in them, so be careful what you have just before bed. Finally then, let's turn to vaping. Vaping fluids as an alternative to cigarettes contain nicotine, which is a highly addictive drug. In many cases, young people who vape may not realise how much nicotine they're inhaling, not to mention the dangerous levels of other chemicals found in unregulated fluids commonly bought on the internet and found in many high schools. As far as learning impacts go, Research into vaping in young people suggests that it impairs concentration, memory, and decision making when compared to young people who do not vape, with problems being particularly severe in anyone younger than 14. So the advice on this one is stop as soon as possible if you've started. And there we go, diet. It's the fuel for everything that our bodies do, so make a pledge from what you've heard today to improve one aspect of your diet to help you concentrate, remember, and improve your mood. Take care.